You guys are doing well. Welcome to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and my wife is actually here. Believe it or not, let me see if I can put her little avatar on the screen. She's gonna
Y'all don't
come
want
in.
to see me now.
Yeah, she's gonna come in via audio. And Pillow Talk, in case you guys don't know, Pillow Talk is where my wife and I get together and we talk about interesting topics, topics that are of interest to the Black community, and do it in a way that is intelligent, fun, hopeful, and inspiring. And if you could, as you come in, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. We are broadcasting on the Fly Nubian Queen Network. We're also on Spotify. If you look up Boyce Watkins on Spotify, and also look at Your Black World, any of those other places, you'll find us there. All right, so babe, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How you doing, Mr.
Good.
Mr. Hercules? I'm gonna call you Hercules because you got a B in the back of your picture.
Hercules.
You know the mythology of Hercules, right?
Well, what she's talking about is this bee in the back of my head, and this. I'm staying in this hotel that my wife and I are not in the same city, by the way. So if you're wondering why we're talking like we're not in the same room, it's because we're not. And so I'm staying at this hotel. I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't, because not everybody is your friend, and I don't be letting everybody where I be at. I don't let everybody know where I be at.
Yeah, but it's the hotel with the bumblebees in the back.
Well, you got to remember, G's move in silence, and guess what?
Okay.
B's also move in silence, and the B stands
Bees
for B for Boyce, Bumblebee behind me. Get it? The B's moving silent. So anyway, so that B's behind my head. That's what she's referring to. As you come in, shout out the city you're from. Let us know what city you're from. Also, please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. Hey, Bernetta. Hey, Spiritually Enlightened. Hey, James Keller. How are you? Good to see you. Zola Robledo. Good to see you, sister. I've seen your name. I've seen your name for many years. Zola, I think is it Zola or Zoila? Is that an I or... That's an I. Is that Zoila? I hope did I say that right? Anyway, Zoila. I think Zoila was one of my Facebook friends in my previous life on Facebook. I've been banished from Facebook, y'all. Did y'all know that? Like, I literally am a non-entity now on Facebook. I don't exist. So if you try to find me on my personal Facebook page, you won't find it anymore. And you know what? I have found, babe, that I have been so relieved to not be on Facebook. I feel liberated.
I don't believe you.
I do. I found that I like social media, and we're still on a lot of platforms. In fact, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my big Instagram page, it's not there anymore because I was reading Dr. Claude Anderson books out loud, but I ain't gonna stop. I'll just have to do it in a private Zoom meeting so that the idea police don't find out that we're sharing ideas that are not sanctioned by the Zuckerbergs and all the bergs out here that control the world. Anyway, Dr. Boyce Finance is my other Instagram page. So the conversations are smaller, more intimate anyway. So it's actually pretty cool. And also, if you actually want to receive real financial stuff from me, it's stock market picks and stuff like that. Just text the word stock to 31996. You can text stock to 31996. I'll put that on the screen if you would like to do that. All right. So anyway, so babe, I hit you up today, and we were talking about this interesting term I'd never heard before called orbiting. And I said, let me call my wife. She's a relationship person. She's a therapist and all that. And I asked you if you'd ever heard of of orbiting. Give me a yes in the chat, yes or no. How many of y'all have even heard of that? Heard about love orbiting? And babe, what did you think? I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think that they kind of make up these words just to kind of keep us on edge, or what do you think?
No, I think we're in new territory. We're in these internet streets playing games with people. So we got to label it, define it, point it out. And orbiting is wonderful because people playing games with your heart, making you, telling you what they think they want you to hear. And they're not sincere. So, I mean, that's what orbiting kind of means to me. You have the definition in front of you. Why don't you read it? But y'all think about games people play. That song. Remember that song? Games people play. Right?
Is there a song called... There's a song called Games People Play?
Boys, I've played it many times for you.
Oh.
We dance to it.
We have?
We don't do it. We don't play games, but a lot of people do.
Oh, okay. Well, let me read to y'all what orbiting is.
Read the definition.
Y'all ready? Okay, so here's the definition of orbiting. And then I want everybody in the chat to tell me if you've had this experience before. Orbiting is It comes from the idea that there is a person who stays in your orbit. Orbiting can be best described as lingering in someone's online presence as a potential love interest without ever getting close or sticking around after a romantic relationship has ended. This perpetual orbit serves as a reminder of their existence, even if intentions are unclear or they have decided to no longer pursue a romantic connection. This behavior involves a person following, viewing, and engaging with their social media content. It's another way social media has made dating and breakups even more confusing. Has anybody experienced orbiting? How many of you have either orbited somebody or feel like you've been hit by orbiting? What are your thoughts in terms of, because I've heard you actually talk, babe, about, like breakups, how to have healthy breakups and stuff like that. What was your thought when you first heard the definition of orbiting?
Well, with the orbiting, it's not quite a breakup. It's just like the bumblebee. They come to you with all this beautiful honey, or they promise you honey, but really, when you're looking for them, you're gonna feel a sting because they ain't gonna be around. Like I thought we were together. I thought he liked me. I'm looking on the internet. He's out cruising with some other chick. I'm saying it from a female perspective, but I'm certain men experience this too. So it's not, it's a way to play games with people's heart. And I think that to cut through some of those games, just follow your intuition. You know when somebody's not upright. And you know when they just lying to you. And take things slow. So orbiting could be a way of taking things slow. Orbiting could be, I'm gonna orbit around you and watch and see how you move. And see, I got options, maybe. And I do recommend this. Don't tie yourself down with the very first person you see. Maybe you want to do a little orbiting. 3 possible people you might be interested in. You be honest. Say, hey, not ready for a commitment. I'm dating around, but I'm exploring. I haven't necessarily nailed myself down to one particular person. There ain't nobody out there thinking they my boyfriend or my girlfriend and I'm playing. But it's, orbiting seems to be all about lying and covering up. When you're dating, the best thing to do when you're dating is to be transparent as much as possible. You don't have to self-disclose everything, but definitely do not lead somebody on.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, everybody, my name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I'm here with my wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins, and this is Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. If you could take a moment, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, make sure you subscribe to the platform so that we can remain connected. And also, Alicia's website is coachingwithdralicia.com. That's where you can find out what she does. She sees individuals and couples and families. She's a licensed therapist and a full professor of social work. So feel free to take a look at her site, coachingwithdralicia.com. All right, babe. So we're talking about orbiting, and you gave an opinion on it, which is interesting. I'm gonna read a little bit more about signs that you may be getting orbited, and I want everybody to kind of give me some feedback. Let me know if you feel that you've been orbited or you're orbiting another person. So here are according to USA Today. They listed a few signs and symptoms that somebody may be orbiting you, and here they go. 1, they seem interested in your life online but are taking no steps to actually be in your life. 2, their engagement is easy and surface level. They do not actively pursue deeper connections they do not pursue deeper conversations or meaningful connection. They are around but avoid making plans. They send mixed signals like by liking a selfie or a picture from 3 years ago, but don't respond to your messages. What do y'all think? I mean, has anybody experienced that? Do you think that is toxic behavior, or do you think that is human behavior? Or maybe human behavior is toxic, or maybe toxic behavior is human, right? It's a side of humanity that maybe we try to get away from. So let's start. Let's start by the top. So they're interested in your online life, but don't want to actually be in your life. Do you think that's toxic? I heard them use that term that term that's used a lot. You think it's overused, that term narcissist? They said narcissists tend to do this. Narcissists tend to do that. Do you think it's a narcissist?
We need to get away from labeling people. Don't label anybody. You can talk about traits. You can talk about tendencies. You could talk about certain aspects of narcissism, but it is very difficult. Even if you are, like, I'm a licensed social worker for 20 years, and it would be very difficult for me to label somebody as in any type of label, right? So definitely not a personality disorder, because you have to be specifically trained in that, and it's in the DSM. So I think we need to get away from labels, but we can look at behavior and we can say this is a trait of, I don't even think we should use the word narcissism. This is just, you just lying to somebody. Like, why not just spell it out? Like, this person is making you think they're interested in you, but actually they're not really interested in you in that way. So you need to be sure. You need to say, hold on, I noticed you like all of my posts. You're sending flirtatious messages in my DMs. What's going on? Are you trying to start a relationship with me, or are you playing around? Like, let me know. Like, sometimes you could just ask that question. Oh, I'm just playing around. Oh, okay. That's good. We just playing around. You have to be careful with defining, because people are in relationships and people be in people's DMs playing around, and sometimes flirtatious behavior, which is what it is, can lead to other things. So you got to be clear about your boundaries and making sure that you're setting rules. And, in some way it feels good, right? It feels good. Someone sends you a nice message. You're like, ooh, oh, look at this. I'm attractive to people. So that's human nature. The human nature part of it is it feels good people like you, but you have to be clear about your own neediness. Some people are just really needy and need that external validation, and they'll be more susceptible to orbiting, or what was the other one? What was the other one?
There were
some other terms. Whatever it is, any type of manipulation.
There are some other terms. If you want me to, I can. Yeah. Like they mentioned breadcrumbing, ghosting, paper clipping, and love bombing. Those are some of the terms they mentioned. Now, can I ask a stupid man question? Can I ask a stupid man question?
Oh, you're talking to me. I thought you were talking to
I'm asking
audience.
Maybe it's a rhetorical.
I don't want you to ask a stupid man question. Or if you try to play devil's advocate, or you're trying to, I don't know, just come on out with the question.
So you think that I should just be quiet? Like,
no,
we don't want to hear men.
But I don't know, like, what makes you think it's stupid.
Well, let me say this. When I read the articles about breadcrumbing, love bombing, orbiting, and ghosting, which are all terms that seem to have been made up in the last year, I noticed something about these articles. I noticed that they were all written by women. And I want to ask you all this. Do you think it's necessarily, and she used words like toxic and narcissist, which I just hear those words so much. And they're typically, I mean, don't get me wrong. We can use the words toxic and narcissist to describe women for sure. But I don't hear a lot of examples of that. I don't see a lot of examples of women being called, like taking something that women typically do. Like, for example, forcing you to decide if you want to marry her in the first 2 years. No one says, well, that's toxic behavior. Right. When a lot of men feel very uncomfortable with that. So the question I want to ask that might annoy some people is, if someone is interested in your online life, but they don't want to be in your regular life, is that necessarily bad? Does that mean that they, like, if you have made up in your head, like, hey, maybe this guy wants to be with me, maybe he wants a relationship with me, but he's never said that. He just said, hey, how you doing? Hey, I just checking up on you. Just want to see how things are going for you. Why is that a bad thing? Like, it's almost like, because to me, it feels like almost like how, they tell women, like, if they wear a sexy outfit, they say you shouldn't have worn that sexy outfit. You shouldn't, it's your fault for looking sexy and making that man think you want to have sex with him. And the woman never said any such thing, but they're putting it on her. Like, so when a man just says, hey, you know what? We were together years ago. I respect you. I just want to say hi. Maybe because of my current situation, I can't be with you. Or maybe I just don't want a relationship. Right. I just, and I don't have to announce that. I can just, I'm just saying hello. Why can't it just be hello? Does anybody get what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody, I hope I'm not sounding crazy, but why can't I just be saying like, hey, how you been? And leave it at that. Why does it have to be like, oh my God, does he want me? Does he not want me? Does he want to be with me? Is he going to marry me? Are we going to have kids? Maybe we shouldn't even be thinking about all that just because I sent you a message to say hi. What do you think?
Yeah, I think when you do your orbiting around on the internet, you do have to be careful, Boyce, about the type of messages that you send out and how on the receiving end of it, even though you may not be intending on a relationship with them in a more personal, intimate level, you do need to be careful when you do that, because the other person could be thinking, oh God, Boyce Watkins really likes me. He's interested in me. Oh, he gave me his phone number. Oh my goodness, he probably, dang, he's married. I wonder if Alicia knows about this. And what is going on? So you do have to be careful, because you have to be careful with your boundaries. And you could be leading somebody on thinking something's going on and nothing's going on, right? Or, you have to be able to decide what type of emotional boundaries, psychological boundaries, all of those boundaries need to be decided upon, because being self-aware, you need to be aware of who you are, what your influence is, the fact that you are a, well-known public figure and people want to get next to you, and they may see a message like that and go, oh my God, he's interested in me. Why would a man send this message to me and want to check up on me, want to know what's going on? His wife don't even know me. So people can make those kind of assumptions, so you got to be careful.
So why is it my responsibility to be able to read somebody else's mind? Like what? Because, why? Does that?
Because you put yourself into positions where someone could. You need to be clear. You say, "Hey, I'm sending this message to check in on you. It's friendly." Because the other person could be like Google out. So you gotta say, "Look, that message you just sent me back, inappropriate. I'm married. This ain't just for you, Boyce. This is for anybody. I'm just married. I just want to make it clear. Self-awareness is the key to living life where there's not a lot of confusion. So you have to be able to.
So in a way, if I am this person that you mentioned, if I am this guy who has this influence and stuff like that with people, which I guess maybe in some people's eyes I do, and I have run into that. I've run into scenarios where maybe there were women who thought I was interested, and I never said such a thing. I never made any sort of inappropriate moves or statements. It almost seems like I'm still being put in the situation of the girl in the tight dress, or the lady, whose booty looks big in a pair of jeans, and she has these guys thinking, oh yeah, she wants to sleep with me because she smiled at me and gave me my cheeseburger and asked me if I wanted more ketchup, and I assumed that more ketchup meant she wanted more penis. Right, literally, you know how guys get, right? They like, oh, would you like mayonnaise with that? Ooh, what'd you mean by mayonnaise? Just whatever, like weird stuff that people do. Yeah, I got some beef for your burger, girl. And people make up all these things in their head. Does that mean that she's responsible for all the things people make up in their head? Now, I can understand blatant sexual references or blatant relationship, like, hey, let's get together sometime and have dinner, or whatever. But I kind of feel like with orbiting, I don't know if I'd call that toxic. I think I would say the same way you might hold, like, for example, me as a man accountable for not leading anybody on. I think you'd have to hold women accountable to not make any assumptions. I think assumptions get so many people in trouble. Men when it comes to sex, and women when it comes to love. I've seen women who will build a whole life inside their head, a whole relationship. They plan in the next 5 years, and you ain't even got to the first date. And I don't know if it's anybody's fault but hers, like just take your time and make sure it's real before you start building on a false foundation. So why wouldn't it be both people's responsibility? Like, because I
want to break in for a second. Who told you it wasn't?
Go ahead, please.
So like you went on, your response to what I said was to flip it onto women, but never in my response did I say this only applies to men, it doesn't apply to women. So you made that assumption when I was speaking that I was only talking about men. And I wasn't. Women need to be careful too. Especially if a man is taking you out on this big expensive, because one of the terms in that article was love bombing, right? So you got to be careful. Like, you can talk to a guy and say, listen, let's put the brakes on this relationship. I just met you and you're trying to fly me to Paris. Like, you don't have to use the word love bombing, but you can always say, listen, we're moving too fast. Did I give you signals that I want to go deep dive into this relationship. You're interesting. Let's get to know each other, but let's take it slow. That's usually what a lot of women, or I would recommend a lot of women to do. And you know, women know what they're doing when they put on little tight dresses and trying to flaunt and have half the boobs out. They know they're teasing you. And you can just say, hey, and I think men need to say this a lot. Men need to say, look, is it going down tonight? Are you interested in me, or is this a teasing? You don't even have to use the word teasing, but like, hey, where would you like to take this? I think men who are respectable and want to have a high level of integrity, I think it's really nice for them to also check in with these women and say, you're sending me these signals. And I think the issue with these terms and why it's called toxic is a wonderful word for, I'm lying, I'm deceiving you, I'm telling you one thing, but I really want this. Or I'm leading you on and say, I think orbiting is kind of like, look at this picture of this hotel in the Bahamas. I so would love to take you to the Bahamas. No, damn well they ain't never taking you nowhere. But they want something.
Lying ass.
Just lying, no intentions at all. I think it's the deception, the lying. That's the part that makes it, you get into the toxic area when you're lying. You're purposely misleading somebody, souping them up, making them feel certain, and it ain't going nowhere. You know it's not going anywhere. You know you're not serious, or you're just not sure if you're serious. It's like, I got 3 women, or 3 men, I'm kind of bouncing around. I told all of them I was interested in them, but I don't really know. You know, that is not healthy. I mean, it's healthy to just say, I don't know. Just being straightforward, because that's how you would want someone to treat you. You don't want anyone wasting your time, making you think they're interested in you and they really aren't. So I think that's the part, Boyce, if I had to address what you were saying, is to make that very clear, your intentions.
Okay.
That's just kind. That's integrity. That's who you are. That's your reputation. There are people out there, and you know them, who have a reputation of using women, who have a reputation of hitting it and quitting it and telling one woman they're interested in them, but going on being with other women. We know these people. We know men. We know women who use men, you know, and I think that's the part that's very toxic and hurtful, because you're hurting people and you got that karma on you. You're leaving a trail of people in your past who are looking at you with a sour mouth. Like, that dude is playing around. Oh, that lady, she just playing around. She's just gonna use you. So I think that's the part, is your reputation. You need to think twice about that. Especially if you're in the internet and you're doing business, it can catch up with you, right?
Right. All right. Hey, everybody. You are watching Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and this is my wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins. And Dr. Alicia is a licensed therapist and a full professor of social work. And she sees clients on an individual and regular basis and a group basis. You can visit her website at coachingwithdralicia.com to learn more of what she does. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and my PhD is in finance. And if you'd like a copy, I have a book out. It's called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. It's an Amazon bestseller. It's built for our people. And it's literally 10 easy implementable rules. If you apply these rules, your family will have wealth in less than a generation. I guarantee it. So feel free to go take a look at the book. You can go to boycewatkins.com to learn more. If you'd like to take a look. Now, do me a favor, everybody, please hit your thumbs up button, thumbs up. Make sure you share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know, Black channels get shadow banned a lot on social media. It becomes kind of a mess. And the way around that is hitting the notification bell, so you'll be notified when we go live. And also, Alicia has a text list if you'd like to receive free stuff from Dr. Alicia on wellness and healing. She's a certified trauma expert as well. A lot of our people struggle with trauma. So if you'd like to get free stuff from Dr. Alicia, she has literally a gold mine, an absolute gold mine of very powerful knowledge-based information that's free to the public. We want to help our people. So feel free to text the word wellness to 31996. You can text wellness to 31996. Okay, babe. So let's stop in. We're talking about this whole idea of orbiting and how orbiting is linked to these other terms. And I'm going to read some of these other terms to you guys and try to define them And tell me if you've heard of these terms. One is ghosting. We kind of know what ghosting is. A lot of us know about that. How about paper clipping? Has anybody heard of paper clipping? How many of you have heard about the term paper clipping? I'd never heard paper clipping. Paper clipping is it describes when an ex reaches out intermittently, not because they're interested in you, but rather to keep you on the back burner as an option. So so let's write this. So we got paper clipping. Paper clipping. I'm taking notes because I'm trying to learn. They always make new rules to teach us how to not be toxic. So paper clipping is when somebody has you on the back burner and they keep you as an option. And then there's another term. Now, a lot of these articles are in USA Today. They're written by the same. Some of them are written by the same woman. This was written by a lady named Jenna Rule, but the other three were written by the same lady. So it sounds like she's had a lot of tough experiences. And another one is breadcrumbing. Has anybody ever heard of breadcrumbing? Breadcrumbing is it's a lot like paper clipping, so that you probably merge the terms, like call it like paper crumbing or bread clipping or something. But basically, breadcrumbing is the act of giving someone just enough attention to keep them interested without exerting much effort or committing. So it seems like if you look at all these terms, babe, like I really feel like, especially white liberal white women, they tend to just like they love to make up terms. Like, has anybody even noticed how, like, for example, with remember the time where you used to have just LGBT, and then you had LGBTQ, then you had LGBTQIA, then you got LGBTQIA plus, and then they got something else. I don't even know. I don't even think I think I'm still old fashioned, even though I just named like 4 iterations of that term. I feel like when I look at these terms, I look at bread clipping. Or sorry, I called it bread clipping. Sorry, breadcrumbing, paper clipping, orbiting, and ghosting. They're all very similar. Like the overlap is huge. I don't even think you need 4 terms to describe. Basically, it says either love me or leave me alone.
I love these terms.
Aren't there songs like that? Was it set me free? Why don't you, babe? Get out my life. Why don't you, babe? You don't really love me. You just keep me hanging on. That's all. That defines at least 3 out of 4 of these terms. That defines paper clipping.
Well, no, because paper clip. See, I as a scientist, and you're a scientist too, but I'm a social scientist. I'm a social scientist. I love these words, and it's in the age of the internet. Like paper clipping is when you already dated somebody. You already hit it. That's a warm lead. You got to look at this like business. It's not a cold lead. It's a warm lead. You already got in there. So the likelihood of you going back again is higher. So paper clipping makes better sense than just breadcrumbing. Maybe you're doing all of those at once. You know, maybe you were paper clipping somebody and then you got to put the paper clip in and then you got to ghost somebody so that you can go get with your paper clip ex. And then, of course, it's an ex, so it ain't gonna last. And then when you're done paper clipping that person, you can start the breadcrumbing and you can show back up in somebody's life because you know you can't answer your phone when you're paper clipping. This is fantastic. Someone actually sat down and thought of this. I'm jealous. I gotta come up with my own terms based on what I'm seeing in these here internet dating streets. I have got to do this. Like, I'm inspired. Who's this lady? I'm gonna start writing some articles. And start coming up with words.
Yeah, Sarah.
But I'm gonna make it more black. I'm gonna come up with some black words.
Yeah, Sarah.
Like,
Sarah Kubrick is the name of the lady who wrote the article. She's the one.
Let me tell you something. I'm inspired by Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. I want to be the black Sarah and write articles. I would love to be able to, and I'm gonna do it. That's a test for myself. I'm gonna coin a word.
Yes, you should.
B1-ish word. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I have to listen to stories of women who've been to my speed dating events and all the things that's happened to them, because there's a lot of hookups happening at the speed dating events. Maybe I should sit down and meet with them and gather up data and the men too, gather up information. I want to come with my own term. I don't see it like I'm not going to be one of those old people that's going to be shaking my fist in the air and be like, I hate everything. No, I'm going to embrace that. I'm going to come my own term. Wait.
Well, let me interrupt you because Lady Love, I want to give a shout out to her late husband. She says that she's going to be single until God sends her another husband Rest in peace to my husband of 22 years. Well, I'm gonna tell you, Lady Love, I'm very proud of you for representing him, and I'm sure he's very happy in heaven knowing that his wife is carrying the flag for their family. And God bless you, and rest in peace to your husband. Please feel free to put his name in the chat, and if everybody sees his name, let's say his name so we can bring him in. We can do our libations to this ancestor, and bless you and your family. Now, there's another person here, Real 1804. Who says that Alicia? He says, I don't know if it's a he or she. They might be a troll, but I think that's kind of but trolls are welcome too.
No, you did that to me. I was always.
He said he says that, or she, Real 1804 says you breadcrumbed or paperclipped it. Did you paperclip it?
Well, I can't paperclip you because we never dated before.
Yeah, we knew each other for over 20 years. Before we started dating, were you breadcrumbing and paper clipping me, girl? Is that what was going on?
Well, did I ever send you? Okay, I will say one thing: you never, ever made any indication to me that you were even interested in me, not remotely. Like, I say this a lot, and I know you don't like I say this, but I met your girlfriends. They are nothing like me. I assumed that I was not your type. You never, ever let me know, gave me any indication that you were even interested in me beyond friendship. And that, you know what, that says a lot about your character and integrity as a person. I really respect that. Like, you never made me feel uncomfortable. You never crossed boundaries with me, Boyce. You were always friends with me. And it was very interesting because people would say, oh, is Boyce interested in you? And I was like, he is not at all interested in me. Girl, did you see that girlfriend of his? He don't want me. He's interested in some other type of lady. And I was like, he ain't never let me know. Now, some people suspected, but there was nothing there. So, and I'm not the kind of person, I'm old fashioned, I guess because my mom had me in her like 30s. So she's old fashioned, you know. So she was like, you never let a man come to you. If a man's interested in you, he'll come and follow up with you. So that's what my mom taught me. So she never taught me to go. I mean, she said, of course, go after the man that you want, you know, don't just take whatever comes your way. But if a man is interested in you, he wants you, he will let you know. And so that's how I was raised. So, but anyway, no, none of this ever happened between us. And it's interesting. I like that. I really like that because it makes me trust you, Boyce. It makes me trust that you're not up in these internet streets paper clipping people because you never did it with me.
Well, you know,
ladies, he ain't interested in you. You sending mixed signals. It ain't mixed signals. He don't want you. Well, or if he does, he's not going to act on it. Like,
well hold on, man. You gotta stop talking.
Am I talking too much?
You gotta stop talking for a minute so I can jump in and say something. But I want to say that my sister Lady Love mentioned her husband's name is Fred. And I want to give a shout out to Fred. I was just touched by the fact that she's representing this man, you know, after his passing. But I'm fully convinced. I believe deeply in an afterlife, and I believe Fred is still here. In fact, if his spirit was not still present, we wouldn't be talking about him. So everybody type Fred in the chat. Let's give a quick shout out to Fred. Everybody who's on the chat, type Fred in there so we can give honor to this black man who loved this beautiful black woman for 22 years. I think that is remarkable, and that is a sign of real manhood. And now, if anybody wants to know my version of the story in terms of my wife, I will admit that I was definitely in the friend zone. There was a guy who did a video. There's so many interesting videos that people did. I haven't watched any of them, but literally, if you were to search the internet, you would find so many videos where I was really shocked by how many people were fascinated by our relationship. And I don't know if they were jealous or unhappy people or what, but literally, like, look at this person. He did all these videos that got like between 30 and 100,000 views.
Are you?
Where he was speculating. Yeah, he's like a chubby, cross-eyed looking guy. Or there's a cross-eyed guy, and then there's like one looks like a discount Rick Ross, like Rick Ross if he was broken on crack. And the other one is like just kind of like a goofball. Like he's kind of like a nerdy clown that women, that he probably can't even get a woman. And he's done like all these videos. He's built his whole YouTube channel talking about us. So you see here, look, he says
Really?
Boyce
Oh my
admits his wife
gosh.
had him in the friend zone again. Yeah, and that was the thing. The thing about the friend zone was like I was
Dang, I
definitely
can't
in
even
the
get that
friend
much
zone.
I can't even get that much traffic to
Yeah,
my
I'm like, man,
page.
how you get all the traffic off of my name, bro? That's great though. Good for him. I hope he's able to, move out of his mama's basement and stuff. But yeah, but there's like so many videos like where people were like, when we got married, when I proposed to you publicly, I did not think anybody was really going to pay attention. I thought it was just going to be a couple of people, that followed me and stuff. But the internet became really enamored, like with speculating on why you and I didn't get married back in the 90s. And to me, it was really simple. I met the most beautiful woman in the world. And I'm not going to lie, at 22, I didn't really know how to talk to girls at the time. And I was a little intimidated. And the other thing, too, is that I'm a cerebral person. I'm not a man. I learned a long time ago from my father not to be led by my penis. I don't make my decisions based on who I'm trying to have sex with. And so I learned a long time ago to see a lot of value in a woman, in friendship with a woman that didn't involve sex. So you and I were great friends even before we decided to be intimate partners. And truth be told, if I had got with you back then, I don't know if I would have been ready. I was in my 20s, in my 20s and 30s, I was a workaholic, and also I really wasn't prepared to do things like marriage and all that back then. That just
Well, you're still
honestly,
a workaholic.
I said, well, I feel like I just like
But you
it.
toned down a little bit, I think.
Yeah, it's not even really work for me. Talking to my people every day is fun. But it's like, but you're right. I am passionate about what I do, and I appreciate your support in that. And that's what. So that's what it was. That was the real story. But then people would make just came like made up a whole universe of stuff. And I was like, what's really driving this? Like, are you unhappy? Are you having trouble attracting women? Because I wasn't. You weren't. You never had trouble attracting men. I saw the men that liked you, and they were, NBA players with $10 million in the bank and stuff like that. Because Alicia is a gorgeous woman. She still is. And I, when I became famous, it wasn't hard. Like I would meet. I met too many women. I had, and you talk about that orbiting and all these other alleged toxic behaviors. I had to avoid putting myself in those spots because I would be nice to women because I genuinely wanted to be friends. And people would be like, "Oh, ain't no way you want to talk to that girl and not want to like get in the bed with her." And I'm like, well, why I gotta sleep with a woman just to appreciate that person? And all because sleeping with somebody carries a lot of weight. You got diseases, for all I know, a person could have STDs. You have kids you don't want to have. Somebody could falsely accuse you of something you did not do. So when I became more of a public figure, I had to be really careful about my interactions with women. I had relationships. I met women. I wasn't very public about it until I picked the one that I really wanted to be with. Like I was public with Alicia, but I had a whole relationship for 4 years. A lot of y'all that follow me really closely never heard one single thing about that previous relationship because I didn't feel like that was a relationship that I needed to be public with, right?
Did she feel a certain way? Was she upset? Can I
No,
ask you that?
she never cared, because she got it, and she also was a private person, so it worked. It worked for both of us.
See, this is
Because I
what
was,
I'm talking about. Nothing. We have nothing in common. Me and all these ladies, like, you
yeah,
know.
well, it is. I think love and attraction is complex, right? And I don't think we can look at a person or even know a person and know exactly what they're going to be attracted to all the time,
That's
because I think
true.
attraction is just it can be triggered by a lot of different things. I've seen people get together and I'll be like, well, how in the hell did those two end up together? And it might literally just be one thing, and
Yeah.
and
That's
so,
so beautiful. It's beautiful. And I'm not that I'm sitting down because I was working out earlier, but I love these comments by Lady Love. Like, I wonder what she's experiencing, what's happening
so
with her because she made a few comments.
Lady
Lady
Love
Love.
is she's my inspiration for today. I really feel
She
like
really
she
is.
is
And,
like
and you,
I think she what? Go ahead, Ben. What you say?
no, I was just gonna say, like, I love that. I like her name, just because if you lose the love of your life and to be able to hold on to the word love, that's hard to do. And so
Mm-hmm.
I just like her name, Lady Love. So it just sounds really beautiful. And I'm looking at some of her comments.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. By the way, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and this is my wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins, and you're watching Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins, where we get together and typically we lay against our pillows and try to have intelligent, fun conversations about important issues in the Black community. Dr. Alicia's website, and you can follow her on social media, is coachingwithdralicia.com, and it looks like she has to leave at 2:30.
I do.
I see that. So I'm going to go ahead.
3 more minutes.
I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. And in fact, if you want to go ahead and take off out of here, you can go ahead and go. I know you're on the bike right now and you got stuff to do, so I'll go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. If you'd like to receive stock market alerts and stock tips from me, feel free to text the word stock to 31996. My job as a finance professor is to help as many Black people get wealthy as I possibly can. And I buy stock every single day, not every single day, almost every day. And I research these stocks, and there's so many opportunities out here for you to make money. And I don't want you living on the corporate plantation. So if you want me to text you some stocks that I like, just text the word stock to 31996. And also, if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Dr. Boyce Finance. That's my new Instagram page. Some of y'all saw when my Instagram got taken down because I was reading Dr. Claude Anderson books out loud. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to start reading those in a private Zoom. However, if you want to follow me now on Instagram, you can go to Dr. Boyce Finance. So feel free to do that. In fact, I think I'll do maybe some sort of stock market mini class or something for those who follow me on Instagram as an incentive for you guys to join us up there. And last but not least, for those of you that want to do a training, if you have a group or a family investment club or a church or an organization or any group that you work with, and you'd like for me to actually come to your city, I'm doing some limited trainings. I went to Seattle. We had a great time. We formed an investment club out there. I can come to your city and do the same thing. All you have to do is find a venue and make the deposit, and we can fly out there. Our team will work with you, and we'll do the marketing for you. So if you're interested, just email manager@boycewatkins.com, and the URL's on the screen, manager@boycewatkins.com. All right. So thank you very much. Have a great day. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and I'll see you later, babe.
All right. See you later.
All right.
Have a good time today.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.